Hey guys, today we're talking about shoulder exercises for golfers just like you. Specifically, we're talking about the rotator cuff. Hey, I'm Jeff PELIZZARO from 18 Strong, and most people have heard of the rotator cuff but don't know exactly what it is. And as a golfer, it's a very important group of muscles in the shoulder or in the shoulder area that is very important in how you swing the golf club as well as how you get into certain positions. We all know somebody that's had rotator cuff surgery, and we know that it can be a very debilitating injury, surgery, and a long rehab process. So everything that we can do to prevent having any kind of shoulder or rotator cuff injury, we need to do that in order to make sure that you're playing the game of golf for a long time without pain. So today I'm going to show you 3 great rotator cuff exercises that you can throw into your program to make sure that your shoulder and your rotator cuff are ready to handle the stress that you put on it, not just on the golf course, but in everyday life. Now, if you've ever had a shoulder injury, gone to physical therapy, anything like that, you've probably utilized one of these little rubber bands. There are a lot of rotator cuff exercises, kind of the standard rotations where you're pulling the shoulder out, you're doing your band exercises. You can even hook it on the outside and kind of pull the rubber band in. You can do different ways going this way. So those are all pretty standard for any kind of a rehab program, but I want to go a little above and beyond what the rehab program would include. Now, I will say that rotator cuffs many times are an issue with range of motion and mobility of the shoulder. While we're not going to really talk too much today about how to improve your range of motion if you're really stuck there, these exercises will help improve that, but it's not the main goal. The main goal here is to work on the strength and resilience of the muscles, the tendons, the joints, but it's not necessarily specifically geared towards improving your range of motion. We'll do another video on that in the near future. For this first exercise, we're going to use a dumbbell, just a light dumbbell. You don't need to go very heavy on rotator cuff exercises for the most part, because usually it's a very small group of muscles. They get taxed very significantly in a quick fashion. And also we're working more on control of the weight, not necessarily really getting heavy on any of these exercises. For this one, what you're going to do is get into a position where you're standing up nice and tall. Your elbow is going to go right up in front of your shoulder joint. So right in front of the shoulder, I'm going to keep it straight in front of me, and we're just going to work on a little range of motion this way. So we're rotating the shoulder. As I rotate this way, this is called external rotation. With the dumbbell, will look just like this. You want to be nice and tall. I like to stagger my feet just to a little more security and balance. And you're going to let the dumbbell fall right in front of you, keeping your elbow at this same level as if it was resting on a shelf. And then you're just going to rotate right back up. So again, nice good posture. Let it fall nice and slow. Let it rotate down as far as you can. I don't want to see this shoulder raising up towards your ear, so I don't want to see that. So the goal here is keep this shoulder down while you let it fall this way and as you rotate back up. So let it fall nice and slow. Let it come right back up. Again, this is a 5-pound weight. You might even want to start with a 2-pounder, 3-pounder, or really even do it with no weight just to make sure that you can get through that range of motion. Now, why do I like this exercise? First, because obviously it's working that rotation, but also if you think about it, if I put my hand here, and I even kind of turn my hand this way a little bit, now what happens if I turn this way, I bend over, and I rotate? Look at where that hand position is. Again, if I come back down, stand back up, this is pretty much the same position. So as I'm working on getting this direction, I'm working on that backswing position of getting my hand right in that spot. So this is directly related to what you're trying to do in your golf swing. This second exercise is pretty tough, and it's meant more to just work on you really getting to the end range of your external rotation in the shoulder. What you're going to do is lie on your stomach. I like to have a little pad to prop up my elbow, which you'll see in a second, to help me create a little more space for the range of motion. So for this, you're going to lie on your stomach. You can rest your forehead on your hand, and your elbow is going to go on this little pad here. You could do this on the ground, but again, having a pad, this could even be a little higher, it raises me up to about the regular level, or the level where my elbow is in line with my actual shoulder joint. So what I'm going to do is lie down, and I'm just going to work on rotating, trying to get my hand up in the air as high as I can. So it looks like this. And what I'm noticing here is, first of all, my range of motion isn't great. And as I rotate up, it's really firing all the muscles in my shoulder blade. All my rotator cuff muscles are really turning on, and it's getting me to the end range of that motion, which is really very taxing and very hard to get to. So again, this will help improve your range of motion. It's also going to improve your recruitment of the muscles in the rotator cuff, getting used to tension at the end of that range of motion, which is a great thing because we generally experience injuries when our body can't handle tension at a certain point. So the more resilient we make our joints, our muscles, and tendons in those positions, the less likely we are to get injured. Now, the third rotator cuff exercise I want to show you is one where you're going to use the bench, you're going to be on your stomach, and we're working on not just the rotation of the arm, but this is really going to be kind of a shoulder blade and upper back exercise. The rotator cuff, even though it's 4 small muscles that all attach to the shoulder blade and then to the head of the humerus here, it also works in conjunction with a lot of other muscles that are in our upper back here. And so the more we can kind of work them together, again, we rarely, really never work a single muscle or a single small group of muscles. There's always many things, many muscles that are contracting and working in synergy. So this exercise is going to do just that. It's going to work on the rotator cuff with some rotation, but also the shoulder blades are going to be moving in and out. So for this one, you're going to go on a bench. I've got this to about a 20-degree angle. You can play around with the angles, but the lower it goes, the harder it gets for the most part in this exercise. You're going to just lie on the bench. Don't do what many clients do and sit all the way down here. You're lying on the bench. I want you to take your hands and I want you to rotate the thumbs outward. So you've got now your thumbs are pointing out towards the outside. Always working on some posture. So I'm not rounding my shoulders. My chest is out, my shoulders are back. And then I'm going to come straight out to the side. Pause for just a second. And then come down nice and slow. So you're coming up, you're going to pause, you're going to come down nice and slow again. Really working on squeezing the muscles in the shoulder blades and the upper back and really trying to crank those thumbs outward the whole time and holding there. Give that pause at the top. That's where it really challenges the muscles and the posture. You're going to hold that and then come down nice and easy. Again, you can start without dumbbells on this. You could start just with your hands and work on really getting through that full range of motion and working on the squeeze and the intent of the tension in that exercise. So again, the rotator cuff, even though it's a small group of muscles in the shoulder, it really plays a large role in how our body handles the stress of the shoulder. All the force that our body generates from the ground, then into swinging the club, has to go through our shoulder at some point. The more stable your rotator cuff is, the more smoothly the joints move, the better the muscles and tendons and joint can handle stress, the less likely you are to experience any kind of rotator cuff pain, or much less a tear or injury. We don't want you to be cut out of the golf season because you hurt your shoulder. So try these rotator cuff exercises and you're definitely going to see an improvement in both your strength, your resiliency, and I guarantee even your range of motion, which all relates to improvement on the golf course. If these videos are helping you, be sure to like and subscribe below. Hit the little bell for the notification to make sure you get updates when we load up new videos. We want to make sure these videos are directed specifically for what you need, so leave a comment below and let us know what you're looking for, and let us know what these rotator cuff exercises have done for you. Again, Jeff PELIZZARO, 18 strong, train hard, practice smart, and play better golf.